right, so today's episode is about Jesus. And here's the thing, let me tell you about Jesus. So the reason that today's episode is about Jesus is because last night I was talking to my mom. There are things in the works with that as well. But my mom loves Jesus. She's not Catholic or Christian by any means. Too. She's definitely not a Christian. But yeah, she loves Jesus as a figure, and she's hilarious. Like I was laughing. I'm sorry. It was just like a true deep laugh. I was talking about how my mom's not a Christian. And it just made me laugh because like she's so far from Christian. No, but the thing about my mom is, so let me start here. She's got memory issues. I don't know if it's from like lifelong alcohol abuse or just it's convenient for her to be like, oh, I forgot, so that no one gives her shit about forgetting stuff. No, I believe she really does have memory issues because she got back into Jesus when she was a kid. She loved Jesus, and I'm not gonna take that story from her. Someday she will come on here, or maybe we'll have our own podcast. I don't know, but we're gonna have our own thing. She's gonna talk about that. But the thing about it is, when she was little, she connected to Jesus as a child. She would talk to him like in her bedroom and whatnot, and like be his buddy. And recently, after years of straying off the quote-unquote path or whatever, she found her way back to the Lord, as she calls him. Now, so here's where the whole point of this, here's where it all begins, right? She and I were talking week after week when I was pregnant. And every time we talk, she'd tell me, oh, I'm getting close to Jesus again. Like, I'm talking to him. I'm, like, talking to the angels again. And she would tell me this every single time. And I'd usually, Kaden would be working, so I'd be at home. So I could deal with a good chat sesh, a good gab sesh on the phone. And I'm like, yo, Mom, you want to hear my theory about who Jesus is? And the first time was like, I wanted to tell her my theory. The second time, I'm like, remember I told you about my theory? And she's like, no, tell me about your theory. And I'm like, oh. And then the third time, I'm like, she doesn't remember. Fourth, fifth, sixth times, I was just trying to get it into her head. So I'd say, well, Mom, here's what I believe about Jesus. I think Jesus was a human being who there's a couple things that I think. It's possible that he was a human being who was trained in the art of I don't know, like psychic shit. I don't know, like he had a mentor that was left out of the 50,000th iteration of the English translation of the Bible. Because here's the thing, some people believe there's a lot of truth in the Bible. I think the Bible is offensive to Jesus. It was written about him. Dude, if the people I hung out with when I was like in my prime wrote a book about me, they would get so much wrong. Like no one would get it right. So I think the Bible's kind of offensive to Jesus in a way. If he wrote it himself, it'd be different, even with the translations. But it is very easy to manipulate language using translations, because you can be like, you can say, I don't know, like an example would be, I spoke to Tina. Okay, that's one thing. I told Tina. That's something a little bit different. Slightly different, but a collection of slight differences to that degree in a book that's like 1,000 pages long could make some potential changes in how we perceive the meaning of what was written and experienced by those people. That's just to say, if it's not written by like 3 really funny guys who are like, yo, let's write this book and like see if people like it, and then like they're up there like, we didn't mean for it to be a religion. Damn, like these people really believed it. Like they just wrote like a million little pieces, and like, but people made it a religion. So I told my mom, I said, my theory about Jesus is that he's just one of us. Prophets like Jesus or Muhammad or like Moses or whatever. Actually, I think Moses was tripping balls, but I'm going to talk about that in maybe later or in a different episode. No, but Jesus was, I think, an alien. Either an alien in physicality or an alien incarnate. into humanhood. But I think he was a Pleiad. I think he was on the fifth dimension, which is like the Pleiades. Like the humans kind of like, from what I've heard, the humans kind of like own or like rule the third dimension, which is the dimension that we exist in, where there is up, down, in, out, back, forth. Like, you know. And then we actually exist in the fourth dimension. Pardon me. We exist in the fourth dimension. Which means that we can see with our eyes the three dimensions before us, but we live inside. Like, we can't visually perceive the fourth dimension, which is time. And as we are growing and gaining vibration as a planet, we are coming into the ability to see time differently. I think that's been slow going, you know. But I think we see that in things like deja vu and like ghosts and stuff like that. But I said, yeah, Mom, I think Jesus was like an alien that came down, that was supposed to like kind of set an example of like what we're capable of. And people make the mistake of worshiping him. I believe that Jesus set an example probably of not worshiping himself, not worshiping at all, but like focusing his mind fully on himself and his capabilities as a human being on this plane. Sorry to get to the end so quickly, but that's the biggest conspiracy of them all. Okay, that's the biggest red pill that I can give you, dude. Is that the deepest illusion is that we are not powerful as individual human beings. We are literally creators. And if you want to tie it back into Jesus, that's what they say. We were made in God's image, I went to Catholic school for a long time, 14 years, okay? I went to Catholic school. All the schooling I had until college was Catholic. My parents aren't even Catholic, dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, Jesus was trying to set an example for how he's like, look, guys, I bet he was like, guys, this is like, he probably had a mentor that was not mentioned in the Bible, because now that religion has become a commodity in the past couple hundred years, it's like they need to leave the mentor out, because then that means Jesus isn't a unique Godhead anymore. Jesus wasn't magic, dude. Jesus had a Pleiadian soul and probably trained his ass off and was like, guys, look, my mentor Steve made me meditate for 3 hours today, and now I can walk on water. And they're like, oh shit, write that down. And they're like, yo, Steve told Jesus to meditate, and now he can walk on water. And it's like, then we translate it so many times, we leave out the fact that Steve is actually like his Tibetan Buddhist kind of like God, like his monk, right? And as I'm saying this, I'm hit with the baboom in my head from watching Zeitgeist so many times to fall asleep. I fucking forgot. All right. This is so fun because we can just like, we don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know what's real. This is all like just like questions and thoughts and opinions and guesses. But like, damn, dude, if you really look at it, Jesus in the Bible is just a euphemism for the sun, dude. It's straight up, it was sun worship. And like, it's funny because I can say Jesus was a Pleiadian like monk, and like he was here to demonstrate how to like focus on yourself and not give your outward energy to an outside source. And people won't get offended, but if I say that it's sun worship, people are like, oh, whoa, okay, well, you can't really say that. I mean, that's like blasphemy. Dude, just think about it. On the solstice, December 21st, from that point in Jerusalem, the sun's trajectory goes down 3 degrees. Or at 1 degree, and it stays there, so it dies, and it stays in that degree for 3 days. On the third day, it goes back up into the path of like the crux, which is the constellation that is the cross, or like the North Star, or something like that. Just watch Zeitgeist, okay, and just give it. Literally, just look up Zeitgeist. Literally, I got time. If you guys want to know where to watch Zeitgeist, message me on Instagram at rats.banana, and it'll be me. You'll see me. I have black hair in my picture, like it's me. Rats.banana, and just ask me. I will send you a link to the Zeitgeist. It's free. I'll just find it and I'll send it to you. It'll blow your mind. You have to, like, grow some balls and sit down for 3 hours and open your mind. If at the end you're like, that's the most retarded thing I've ever seen, none of that could be true and it's bullshit, more power to you for giving it a chance. For giving it a chance. Because it opened my eyes. Dude, I cried the first time I saw Zeitgeist. I was like, what the fuck? I'm an intelligent person, dude. I believe truly that, yes, I can be a little gullible. I definitely kind of have that more, like, feminine side of humanity to me where I'm like, oh my God, really? But, like, I'm telling you, when it comes down to it, I'm intelligent, dude. I'm an intellectual being, okay? And when I watched this for the first time, I cried. And I rewatched it a million times, dude. It's crazy. But Jesus and Horus and several other gods throughout history have the same story. Virgin birth, died for 3 days in a tomb, rose again, was persecuted, was like the father of the father was a carpenter, died when he was 33. Like all this really random like stuff. Hold on. All right, cool. I was just checking to see if I could hear the baby. All this stuff kind of gets buried throughout history. I learned about the gods of like Horus. Like, I think he's a god. He's an Egyptian god, right, Caden? Horus. Yeah. I definitely know that name from like 5th or 6th grade, history. Like, in 5th grade we did like a whole big project on like Mesopotamia, and then in 6th grade we did a whole big thing on Egypt. I remember the name Horus. But at my Catholic school, no one bothered to tell me, hey, fun fact, his entire backstory is the same exact story as Jesus, dude. So now I'm like, is he a Pleiadian who was real and the Bible was written by his friends to be like, this is our guy? Is it sun worship? Yeah, honestly, like, I think it really is sun, because based on the facts, it lines up with sun worship. But spiritually, in this chaotic world, I think two things can be probably like exactly, two things can happen at once and be the exact same thing. So I believe it is sun worship, but I think it's gained such traction in the world. There's billions of Christians, dead and alive altogether. There's billions of them, Catholics and Christians, and like the children religions of Christianity and Catholicism. By the way, I love saying this. This pisses off all the racist Catholics out there. Jesus was a Jew. And I know it's like such a buzz concept these days, but like Jesus really wasn't white. Like, it's actually so funny because if you like were at a grocery store and like a dude was bagging up your groceries and he had a name tag that said Jesus, and you were a friendly person and it was a nice day, you'd say, thanks, Jesus, I appreciate it, have a great day. That's what I would say. Even if the guy had blue eyes, blonde hair, if it says Jesus, what we say as Jesus, it's Jesus. That name didn't change. That name didn't change. His name's not Jesus. It's Jesus. Like, that is I was cracking myself up. I was laying in bed. Caden was asleep. Murphy was asleep in the crib. I'm like, please, like, just, I was cracking myself up. Because after 14 years of Catholic school, which ended like 10 years ago, I was out of Catholic school, like 8 years ago, like 7 years ago, I think 7. I was like, I forget exactly how I got there, but I was like, man, like, where along the lines, like, how do people know the distinction between the name Jesus and Jesus? I was like, you can't name your kid Jesus. That was something my mom told me when I was little. I was like, why don't people name their kids Jesus anymore? And my mom told me, you're not allowed. My dad told me they do, but they're all in Mexico, or most people named Jesus are I need to correct myself because I was trying to tell a joke. But I think my dad, I was trying to be edgy, but like I think my dad would be like, I did not say that. Like he's the kind of person who'd be like, that's not a direct quote from me. So just to give him the respect there. But yeah, he basically told me that there are people out there named Jesus, but they pronounce it Jesus. Because it's a Spanish name now. And now I'm thinking about that and I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if that's exactly true. The same way that when I was a kid, I asked my mom, okay, if I'm not allowed to swing from the electric wires that run in the sky alongside the street, aka the power lines, why are birds allowed to walk on them? And I was like 2, and she was so taken aback by the question. She was like, they got special feet. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, yep. Birds have special feet that lets them walk on electric wires without getting shocked. And I was like, holy shit. That makes so much sense. Their feet are little yellow rubber feet so that they don't get shocked on the electrical wire. How? Of course. Nothing less is acceptable. Of course. The birds have rubber feet. Houdini feet, if you will. The birds have magic feet. That's what my mom told me. I fucking believed that shit till I was like 7, dude. That was like 7. That is so long to believe something so stupid. That's a long time to believe something stupid. So after days, and I have the baby right here with me for a minute here, this sweet little bean, so any goos and gahs, just know that's truth. After days and weeks of me repeating this story, Jesus is a Pleiadian alien who came down. He's just like you. He's just like me. You might as well worship yourself. Or you might as well dedicate the time you want to spend worshiping this guy who you heard a story about. You should worship yourself. After me telling her that a bunch of times, she calls me real excited one day and she goes, Hannah, I figured it out. Okay. Jesus is an alien from a different dimension. Okay. I figured it out. I was doing a deep meditation while I was on the phone with my girlfriend Patty, and I figured out Jesus is actually an alien from a different dimension that came down to teach us to love ourselves and not him. And I was like, Mom, that is so smart, dude. How did you figure that out? She's like, I don't know. I was just talking about it with Patty, and it just came to me. I don't know. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, that is genius, bro. That's so smart. She came up with that on her own, and that's really cool. I just wanted to say that. Yeah, so I figured maybe that was the same sort of lie. Where they were like, how do we even answer this? Because at the time, like, I think they were like, how some people are like, oh, I'm a Catholic. My parents would be like, I'm Catholic. I'm Catholic. Like, that's the kind of Catholics they were. Like, they're like, Catholic, maybe, I don't know. They sent us to Catholic school because the school district was shitty, dude. Yeah. They actually, like, there were so many murders in the school, they started just doing a murder lottery. And they'd be like, all right, who's getting murdered this week? All right, Charles. All right, everyone who's got a fix for murder, go. Charles is your target for the day. Y'all go kill Charles now. Like, it was a bad school district. So anyway, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, Jesus is an alien, dude, who, like, came down to teach us how to love ourselves. And they turned it around and said, you have to love someone else. I cannot stand it, dude. I can't stand it. When people post on Facebook for fucking months and they're like, I have cancer. And it's like, oh my God, that's so sad. And then like, then you start seeing the regular updates. I'm doing this treatment. We're fighting. Here's my fundraiser. This is and you're like, oh great, they're fighting. And then it's like, good news today. I'm in remission. I felt like we fought the good fight. And I just want to thank God for saving my life from cancer. And I'm like, what? Dude, talk to the cells in your body. Did no one grasp what they taught us in grade school biology? Your cells are individual living creatures, dude. Talk to them. Talk to your cells. You did that, bro. You beat cancer, not God. Why are you going to give all the credit to some invisible guy who you've never even seen before, bro? And you guys call yourself feminists. You're like, men can't take credit for what we've done, for what I've done. Women have run the world through history and have taken credit for it. And I just want to thank God for giving me that knowledge. Fuck you, dude. You're God. I'm God. Because guess what? We're creators. It's that simple. It's that simple, dude. This is the last episode. Who even needs any more episodes after this? Because it's that simple, dude. You are a god, man. You are a god or a goddess, or, if you are questioning why I said god or goddess and nothing, you're not getting my point, dude. Dude, Earth is a school. It's a plane of duality. I'm telling you, man, Jesus is either the son or a fucking Pleiad or just like a kid who was really good at sleight of hand. Someone wrote a book about it and it became a religion. But the point is, he taught us we have to believe in ourselves, dude. The story of a man saying, okay, I'll take it. I will walk through town with a cross on my back, get whipped with a crown of thorns, with the whole town watching me, calling me names, and I will get myself crucified. I won't even fight it. Fine, I'll do that for you as a story. Think of it as a story. I don't believe that that's his story. Like, I don't believe that, really, but as a story, I've read it, I know it. That's a really awesome story of individual strength and personal responsibility. Imagine if someone came to him and was like a ghost voice came to him and was like, I'm your true father. And some people believed you and were like, damn, I'm going to stick by you. You're a weirdo now. You're hearing voices that is your dad. You're the son of God. Like, you can perform miracles. And the rest of the people said, you're fucking nuts, dude. I don't think half the people who claim to believe in Jesus really realize what kind of person Jesus was. Jesus was the person that most people pointed and looked at and whispered about. Like, that guy's fucking crazy, dude. People would be like, little Timmy, don't go near him. He's weird. There's something wrong with him. And then he kind of started getting famous and he was kind of like a David Blaine character. But would you let your kids sit on David Blaine's lap? Probably not. 10,000 years down the line, you hear about people worshiping David Blaine. Listen, I know I'm not good with years and numbers, okay? Please don't let that take away from my credibility, because most of what I say is truly from my heart and a collection of knowledge, but none of these are facts. These are all just how I feel. Or maybe they're all facts, and maybe I'm right about everything in the world, and I'm the center of the universe. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you are. Dude, what if I'm a side character in your main story? Yeah. What if? But I don't think it's that exact. I think the story of Jesus teaches us about personal responsibility. If a guy came down and was like, I'm your dad now, you need to go through a really violent and degrading and the most painful death you can think of. You have to do that. I'm telling you to do it. Do it to save the lives of the future of millions of people. You would say, nah, I'm going on Prozac. I'm hearing voices. Someone said you need to go through the most painful death you've ever experienced in your life to save your grandkids. No, not even yours. Your friends' grandkids. And all of humanity. Don't even tell me you would do that. I mean, Dude, you guys would have been so mean to Jesus, dude. So don't even tell me. Don't even tell me, dude. Jesus was like the nose picker in class. Like, he was the weirdo. And you guys don't even know who Jesus is. Jesus is you, okay? Let me break it down. All beings, all sentient beings on this planet, you, me, my dog, your cat, your turtle, your mom, your teacher, your neighbor, your mailman, your husband, your wife, your child, the bacteria on your skin, all the living things, dude, every cell in your body, dude, is a fractal of the same energetic source, or the same source of light, each individually experiencing Earth through an individual lens of perceived consciousness that is the ego. I know, that's a lot, but that's what it is. Your soul and my soul and Sacagawea's soul and my neighbor's dog, who I can see bouncing around back there, his soul, his name's Mocha. The dog, not the neighbor. I don't know the neighbor's name, I know the dog's name, because that's who's important to me, is that little boy, little spot boy. We're all the same, dude. We're all the same. So you, Sacagawea, the guy who drove the Titanic, someone who drowned on the Titanic, the guy who invented shoelaces, the guy who started picking a lock somewhere in Oklahoma to rob a house because he was desperate, and then at the last second changed his mind and kind of cried and left and said, I'm not going to do this, and decided not to burglarize a house. We all have the same soul. Okay, we all have the same source of our soul, and we are all experiencing life in different fractals, different pathways, and all of it happening at once creates the reality that you live in. Yeah, so happy Easter, guys. This has been a Cup of Joe and the Devil You Know. Talking about Jesus here for Easter, talking about the one and only Jesus, who is, my whole point is that he's not the one or the only. He's just like you and just like me, and there's billions of us, and we all live. And Caden believes that life is a chemical reaction. So how about that? What if that? You'll hear more from him on that coming up soon. In an episode soon. Yeah, all right. Happy Easter. Love you guys. Have a great day. Have a great life. Have a good time. Grab a cup of Joe. Get a little sativa hit for your day to get it started. And I will talk to you whenever. Goodbye.